County's all-Democrat member county commission heard reports today on federal grants and spending that Republican President Trump and his DOJ team have frozen from delivery to the Dallas County Health Department.
And some health department workers have already been laid off, and important events planned to provide immunization against disease, they've had to be canceled. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in studio with the story. Sean.
Yeah, of course, those funds cut from health departments across the country. The frozen funds from multiple federal grants, around $70 million in Dallas County. Reduction in force notices went out last week. Some 80 personnel could be forced out if the money's not restored. Some people, commissioners learned, have already gotten pink slips.
These are due to the federal cuts that we just were notified last week.
Dallas County Health and Human Services Director Dr. Philip Wong tells county commissioners the Trump administration freeze on federal grants allocated to health departments across the country and here is already having a negative impact.
Very unfortunately, we had to release 11 full-time staff and also 10 temporary staff. Many of those were doing some of the vaccination clinics that we were talking about, being able to go out into the community, going out to some of these schools that have low vaccination rates. And so, I was speaking to our outreach team last night, and I mean, essentially we're having to cancel over 50 of these events that have been scheduled. Again, some even in the very near term with some of these schools that had low measles vaccination.
The model of pop-up vaccination clinics that started during COVID continued and was vital in vaccinations. Those have stopped.
What plan does Dallas County, probably in Health and Human Services, have to address that, and I would hope aggressively?
The plan right now is to vaccinate as many as possible at the 7 satellite health clinics in the county. Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price has concerns.
40% of my district is still transportation hostage.
Our brick and mortar centers are the main ones where we provide the most services. And
exactly.
So that is our backup, and that is, we will continue to maintain those. And that's what, talking to the staff, that's all we can keep staffing.
The Trump administration pulled back $11.4 billion in federal grants allocated during the COVID pandemic, saying COVID is over and we will no longer waste taxpayer money on a non-existent pandemic.
The funding, may have been labeled as COVID, but it extends far beyond just the COVID impact. We were giving COVID vaccines, we're giving flu vaccines, but we're also giving the childhood vaccines too.
The lost funding weakens the county's best disease defense, vaccinations.
And I want to make sure that the community understands what the federal government has done to us in terms of putting us at risk.
Now, a number of Democrat-led states filed a lawsuit today trying to stop the Trump administration's funding cuts. The Centers for Disease Control hoping to recover some, if not all of that $11.4 billion paused by the federal government. For now, that, though, is not certain.